Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your news report and second stimulus check update. Congress cannot agree on a stimulus bill, so states and cities are stepping in according to CNBC. Alaska, Colorado, Maryland, New Mexico, and New York City are among the areas that have infused money into households and businesses over the past 2 weeks. So yes folks, stimulus payments and unemployment benefits are going out to some Americans, but it's not through the federal government, it's through the state and local government. And according to the New York Times, top Democrats back compromise plan to revive stimulus talks. The Democratic leaders in Congress endorsed a $908 billion plan put forth by moderates in both parties, offering a significant concession in efforts to jumpstart negotiations. Now before we get into the video, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the notifications bell. On this channel, I always provide you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check information. And by the way folks, leave a comment down below telling me who you think is to blame for holding back our second stimulus payment. Is it the Republicans or the Democrats? And let's get this video to 1,000 likes if you think that Congress must pass more stimulus payments to the good American people like yourself. Now first, let's see what Senator Mitch McConnell has to say about a second stimulus payment.
You alluded to the bipartisan framework that came out today. Have you had a chance to look at that? And since you're talking about the importance of the president signing something, the House would have to pass something too. So why wouldn't a bipartisan proposal that could potentially also pass in that body be a better way to go?
Yeah, we just don't have time to waste on. We have a couple of weeks left here. Obviously, it does require bipartisan support to get out of the Congress, but it requires a presidential signature. And this government is in place for sure for the next month. And I think the place to start is, are we actually making a law or are we just making a point? And I think the way you make a law for sure is you've got a presidential signature. So we'll see how it goes forward. I think the one thing we all agree on, as I said, waiting till next year is not an answer. We need a targeted relief bill.
Everybody tell me in comments down below, do you think that Mitch McConnell is going to pass a second stimulus bill? Some Republicans and Democrats have already proposed a $900 billion proposal to Senate Leader Mitch McConnell, but he rejected the package, saying that it was way too much.
What can't wait? What can't wait? American workers, American small businesses, K through 12 schools, the vulnerable Americans and frontline healthcare workers for whom speedy vaccine distribution will literally be a life or death matter. Yesterday, my home state of Kentucky experienced yet another dreadful record-setting day. But Kentuckians also know that hope is in sight. Our state's workers are standing by at the UPS Worldport in Louisville and the DHL Express American Hub in northern Kentucky, key logistics centers that will play crucial roles in sending vaccines all around the country. Our people are hurting, but they're ready to finish this fight. Congress should not keep them waiting for reinforcements that should have arrived literally months ago. So compromise is within reach. We know where we agree. We can do this. Let me say it again. We can do this. And we need to do this.
Now because our politicians in Congress cannot agree on a second stimulus payment yet, some states and cities are stepping in. According to CNBC, Alaska, Colorado, Maryland, New Mexico, and New York City are among some of the places in America that have infused money into households and businesses over the past 2 weeks. And Minnesota lawmakers are also working to push through similar measures. The collective action to put money into households and local economies is happening as Congress negotiations remain at a standstill, according to CNBC. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer on Wednesday expressed support for a bipartisan $908 billion measure, more than $1 trillion less than their prior asking price. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said Thursday that compromise is within reach. Meanwhile, aid programs for the jobless, renters, and student borrowers, which are each supporting millions of Americans, expire at year's end. Job growth has slowed in the winter months, threatening to further pain for businesses. The governor of Colorado told reporters, "We know that Colorado or any state can only do so much, and national help is urgently needed. We see the light at the end of the tunnel with news of a vaccine, but the consequences of this pandemic will be far lingering if Washington fails to act. Now folks, tell me what you think in the comments down below. Why is it taking Congress so long to pass the stimulus payment? Do they not realize that America is in the middle of a pandemic? Congress needs to pass the stimulus and help the American people. If you agree with my message, then leave a comment down below saying I agree. According to CNBC, Colorado started issuing $375 stimulus payments to residents who suffered financial hardship due to the pandemic. Governor Polis in the state labor department said Wednesday, all workers are eligible for $25 to $500 a week in unemployment benefits. Between March 15th and October 24th, will get the one-time boost. The state has issued about 77 million payments since Monday to more than 213,000 people. Approximately 435,000 people will be eligible according to the announcement. Now for the state of New Mexico, CNBC reports that the governor has signed a $330 million relief package into law on November 25th. The law, which takes immediate effect, contains $100 million in grants for small businesses, $15 million in emergency housing assistance, $5 million for emergency food bank services, and $5 million for direct payments to low-income residents who did not receive a first stimulus payment. The IRS has already issued roughly 160 million stimulus checks, totaling over $270 billion, and will continue dispersing the aid throughout the year. The maximum payment is $1,200 for every individual. In Alaska, Governor Mike Dunleavy expedited the release of $20 million in CARES Act funding to Anchorage this week to help struggling businesses. And last week, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan issued more than $19 million in grants to prevent evictions. They dispersed to 17 local jurisdictions, will help more than 3,600 households in the state. And according to CNBC, New York City, the largest city in the US, created a $35 million fund to offer no-interest loans to small businesses in low to moderate income neighborhoods. In the state of Minnesota, Governor Tim Walz and Republicans in the state house issued separate proposals last week to offer some relief to small businesses. Walz also proposed $500 one-time payments to families and a 13-week extension to unemployment benefits. Now folks, tell me in the comments down below, do you live in any of these states? And do you think that our politicians in Congress on the federal level will pass stimulus relief to help the American people? With that being said, folks, that's all of the news in regards to your second stimulus check, second stimulus payment, and unemployment benefits. Now if you found this video useful, be sure to subscribe to my channel because I always provide you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check updates. And let's get this video to 1,000 likes.